Hello, welcome to Altaghier English broadcast. According to the London-based Al-Hayat newspaper, that the Iraqi security forces prepare to launch a military operation to liberate heat province at the west of Ramadi instead of the liberation of the Fallujah city. The newspaper confirmed that Fallujah battle has a sensitive political and security matters, which led to postponing it and proceed to the liberation of Heat. In addition, a U.S. combat troops has arrived to Ain al-Asad Air Base in al-Baghdadi, as well as the transfer of a number of an Iraqi anti-terrorism security forces to the same city in order to prepare to launch a military operation to liberate the province. Sheikh Sha'lan al-Nimrawi stated that Heat battle will be fast and not difficult compared to the Ramadi battle, as it will start from Quetta toward the center of the province. Al-Nimrawi added that the information from inside the city confirms that ISIL insurgents ran away toward the Lambar Desert in Al-Ratba city, confirming that the Iraqi security forces were delayed too much in the liberation of Heat, although they had the information that ISIL does not have any military force in the province. The Iraqi Parliament Speaker Salim al-Jubouri discussed with the chairman of the National Union Bloc of Kurdistan Parliament, Ala Talabani, the views on the expected cabinet reshuffle. Al-Jubouri and Talabani discussed during the meeting the latest developments in the political situation and the legislative process, as well as the exchange of views and positions of the parliamentary blocs of the political change and the expected ministerial meetings. The Iraqi Foreign Minister Ibrahim al-Jafari asked Turkey to declare its withdrawal from Iraq and to end the violation of the Iraqi sovereignty. That came during the meeting between al-Jafari and the Turkish ambassador to Iraq, Farouk Karmakchi. In addition, they discussed during the meeting the ongoing developments and their impact on the bilateral relations between Iraq and Turkey. Al-Jafari stated that any initiative between Iraq and Turkey should start with positive steps and ends into the interest of the two countries and respect the sovereignty. Al-Jafari stressed that Iraq insists on building its relations with the neighboring countries on the basis of confidence building, exchange of interests, and face common threats. The Combined Joint Task Force overseeing the operation said in a statement that the United States and its allies conducted 27 strikes against ISIL in Syria and Iraq. In Iraq, 25 attacks were carried out near 9 cities, 6 of them near Ramadi, striking ISIL tactical units and destroying ISIL staging areas, fighting positions, and assembly areas. Near Mosul, 12 strikes hit 2 separate tactical units and other targets and destroyed 12 fighting positions and a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In Syria, 1 strike near Al-Hawal and another near Al-Hasaka struck tactical unit and destroyed a tunnel and a building used by ISIL. A hospital supported by medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières in the Idlib province of the northern Syria was intentionally hit by airstrikes and 8 people are missing. MSF head of mission said this is a deliberate attack against the health establishment. The destruction of this hospital deprives about 40,000 people of health care in this conflict zone. MSF said the hospital was destroyed after being hit by 4 missiles following 2 attacks within a few minutes interval. The hospital, which has 54 staff and holds 30 beds, is financed by the medical charity. MSF also supplies medicines and equipment to the facility. The U.S. President Barack Obama has phoned Vladimir Putin in a desperate attempt to hold together the Syrian peace deal as Russia launched major airstrikes in the region, and Vladimir Putin was accused of making the refugee crisis worse to undermine the European project. As world leaders scramble to prevent a Syrian ceasefire from collapsing, the U.S. president contacted the Russian president on Sunday night to urge him to stop bombing moderate rebels in the war-torn region in support of its Syrian ally, President Bashar al-Assad. The White House said President Obama emphasized the importance now of Russia to play a conservative role by ceasing its air campaign against moderate opposition forces in Syria. The Kremlin added that they had a frank and a business-like discussion with Mr. Obama. Saad al-Hariri said that Lebanon would never be an Iranian province hostile to Saudi Arabia and attacked Hezbollah's role in the Syrian war in a speech reflecting regional tensions. The former prime minister was speaking in Beirut on the 11th anniversary of the assassination of his father Rafiq al-Hariri. It was only his third visit to the country since the Hezbollah's dominated March 8 alliance toppled his cabinet in 2011. Tensions between Saudi Arabia and Iran, which both have powerful influence in Lebanon and supports rival political blocs, are contributing to conflicts across the Middle East, including Syria. The French government has told over 800 refugees currently living in the so-called Calais jungle that they will be expelled from the camp in the next few days. The planned clearance on the southern section of the camp will also involve the demolition of 3 mosques, 1 church, 3 schools, and women and children's center and a youth center. Also going to the jungle, books library, a theater, and 3 hot food distribution points that currently serve 2,000 meals each day. In a statement, the French government estimated that 800 to 1,000 refugees will be affected by clearance, which they state will take place within a week. Democratic presidential hopefuls Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton campaigned in Las Vegas, flooding Nevada with volunteers ahead of this week's key nominating contest on the 20th of February.
Please go to caucus, 11 o'clock on Saturday. Bring your friends, your neighbors, your family. And I promise you, I will work my heart out every single day to make progress in our country, to make us proud, to give us all the opportunity that we should have, and to give every child a chance to live up to his or her God-given potential. Thank you all so much.
And now we are here in Nevada. And everything in my political gut tells me that we have the momentum here in this state. That if people come out in large numbers on caucus day, we're going to win here in Nevada.
Donald Trump has accused former U.S. President George W. Bush of lying to get the country into the Iraq War while speaking at the recent GOP presidential debate. The Republican frontrunner at the South Carolina debate said they lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction and there were none. Mr. Trump unleashed a series of biting attacks against the former president in what has been dubbed the most abrasive GOP debate yet, calling the Iraq War a big fat mistake. Mr. Trump added that George Bush made a mistake and they all make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. He added as well that they should have never been in Iraq and they have destabilized the Middle East. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petrol, Emmanuel Ibe, said he wants to increase output to up to 2.5 million barrels per day by the end of 2016. Currently, the OPEC member pumps 2.3 million barrels per day.
There's increased conversations going on. I mean, I think when we met in December, you had blocks that were hardly talking to one another. Everybody was protecting their own positional logic. Now I think you're having cross logic. People are saying, what's the deficiency in your logic versus what is the optimum side of your logic? So people are talking a lot more intellectually now. We thought that given what was happening in terms of, it's a very funny dynamic because a lot of barrels are tumbling out of the market from non-OPEC members. So the Saudi philosophy is obviously working.
Oil majors will be able to offer shareholders steady payouts over the coming year, even as the ongoing oil rout continues to wipe value from the sector. The embattled oil industry has been forced to axe thousands of jobs and scrap investments totaling billions of dollars as the oil price plummeted 70% in 18 months to lows not seen since 2008. But analysts say the market collapse will not claim shareholder dividends, even as the industry braces for a slow recovery over the coming years. Morningstar equities analyst Stephen Simcoe said in all likelihood any cuts would not occur until 2017 at the earliest. Australian authorities said they had seized more than $1.25 billion worth of liquid methamphetamine, which is considered as their largest haul of illicit drugs in 2 years.
And we are here to laud the joint operation that has resulted in the largest seizure of liquid methamphetamine in Australia's history. This is also one of the largest drug seizures in our country's history. This has resulted in 3.6 million individual hits of ice being taken off our streets, with a street value of $1.26 billion. This largest seizure of liquid methamphetamine to date is a result of organised criminals targeting the lucrative Australian ice market from offshore.
An analyst said an interim government may be the best choice for Haiti amid political instability until the country chooses its next president in the coming days.
That is the solution that has the most favored right now. It's not the one that I like the most, but if we want to have some kind of peace in the streets for the coming months, transitional government seems to be the best choice.
State of emergency to fight the Zika virus and other mosquito-borne illness like dengue fever has been declared by the governor of Hawaii. David Ide said there have been no locally acquired cases of the virus in the U.S. or Hawaii, and that they would like to keep it that way. He said in a statement that this is about getting in front of the situation across the state, and he will be coordinating planning efforts with the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, all county mayors and civil defense coordinators. Although no cases of the Zika virus have been detected, around 250 cases of viral diseases and dengue fever have been confirmed on Hawaii's Big Island. There are active outbreaks on some of the Pacific Islands, including America Samoa. Thousands participated in the 6th annual of the War of Tomato in the Chilean city of Quailan.
Obviamente. ¿Y qué hacemos ya? El ensayo estuvo muy bueno ya.
That's all for the news. Have a good day.